If he sells these items, he could get a good price for them. All that remains now is to find a suitable place to train and buy some medicinal herbs. The scene changes to Yaimori running around. 3 weeks have already passed, and he still hasn't found a single buyer. The people here only look at his pendants with suspicious expressions. Then, while walking, he notices something, a dog crying in the street. It is injured and panting, and shortly afterward, it collapses on the ground from exhaustion. Yaimori notices that the wounds are quite severe, and thinks it may have been hit by a car. Either way, he takes out one of his talismans and says that he will test its effect on the dog. It is a healing enchantment. The amulet's effect is to restore damaged organs and heal physical injuries. The dog quickly stands up, completely healed and without a single wound. Then someone calls out to the dog, clearly angry. A man and a woman appear. The man asks what the problem would be if the dog died, saying it wouldn't make any difference. The woman tells him to shut up, since he was the one who ran it over. She adds that she didn't ask him to follow her, and that she needed to take the dog to the hospital. Soon, however, they realize that the dog is perfectly fine, and begin wondering what happened. She approaches Yaimori and asks him what happened, and whether he did something. The man is visibly irritated and asks where Yaimori came from. The woman comments that when the dog was hit, she saw a lot of blood and didn't think it would survive. Yaimori then notices an opportunity to sell his talismans. He takes one out of his pocket and says that he used one of these. She notices that it is a blue amulet, a protective one, but the other man interrupts, calling him a liar. He tells her not to trust him, suggesting that he might be a scammer who put the dog in front of the car on purpose. Ignoring the man, she asks whether anyone can use the amulet and whether it might be able to heal someone in a vegetative state. Yaimori wonders what that means, then reflects that it might be possible. It is called a pure mind talisman, and it uses spiritual energy for repair and regeneration. He hands one over and explains it to her, saying it could help with that problem. The man, still skeptical, asks whether it can really cure his aunt and tells Shizuru not to get involved with this charlatan. Yaimori ignores him and says it is easy to use. One simply needs to hold it toward the person who is to be healed. The large amulet costs 400,000 yen, and the smaller one costs 200,000 yen. She quickly decides to buy all the talismans he has, leaving the man completely shocked. He tries to intimidate Yaimori, but Yaimori quickly grabs his hand and threatens him, telling him not to interfere with his business since she has already agreed. He tells him to leave if he is just going to cause trouble. He throws the man aside and turns back to the girl, finalizing the sale. He hands over the remaining talismans, explaining that the yellow one is for protection and the red ones are fireballs, and hopes that she won't need to use them. She thanks him immediately, clearly delighted, and asks for his name. He then leaves with the dog. The man, who seems to be her cousin, says that Yaimori clearly looks like a swindler. She replies that she knows it sounds crazy, but even if there is a small chance that her mother might wake up again, she is willing to do anything. As Yaimori walks away, he finally has money and can look for a place to live, as well as buy herbs for his training. Suddenly, the dog notices something. It is a house surrounded by a blue aura. Yaimori also notices a powerful plant growing in the garden and wonders whether it is silver heart grass. The scene changes again. We see that girl's cousin being treated by a nurse. He is furious, saying that that guy is a bastard and that the next time he runs into him, he'd better watch himself. Then we see an old man nearby saying that the cousin was kind to go with her, but even so, she had embarrassed the family. He asks how she could fall for the words of a mere swindler and whether she wants to make them a joke. The nurses start gossiping behind their backs, saying that the girl spent tens of thousands of yen on some